We are here with Cal State LA head coach Torino Johnson, as well as players Mariah Blake and Nevaeh Asiasi, following their 79-75 loss in the first round of the NCAA tournament to Vanguard. Coach, can you just kind of talk to me a little bit about what you're most proud of your team from today?
I think today they battled and put themselves in position to win the game. And we had a lot of miscues, but I'm still proud of how resilient they were, right? In spite of those miscues, they just kept competing, and it showed a competitive stamina that's akin to improvement. And I'm proud of the entire roster for just continuing to fight.
And it was a game of runs. You guys were up with 10 points, you guys were down 10 points, but it was a battle to the end nonetheless. Can you kind of talk about the adjustments you made in game and at halftime to help not let the game get out of hand? Or
we threw a zone press at them, and then we took it back to a man-to-man, but both in the full court. And we saw some success with it, and we were able to control the pace. And so it's a game of ebbs and flows, and they were able to control the pace. And so I thought they did a really good job of singling us out and putting us in difficult situations to guard. They've got some fine talent on their end in regards to just how they're able to manipulate the floor in regards to their guard play. And I thought that was part of the separator, in addition to their ability to offensive rebound and score out of those situations.
And can you just kind of talk about how you were able to keep the team composed down the stretch, especially with, it looked like you guys had the opportunity to tie the game right almost at the end, along with just the ups and downs of just what this game brought?
Yeah, well, we got a resilient group. And so I didn't think at any point that the game would get away from us. I thought, we would be right in the game. Again, this is a game of attrition, and so our group doesn't know any better besides to battle and compete. And when you do that with consistency, which is what they've done throughout the year, you find yourself in the majority of the games. And so they were on par for the course, and they were able to have success. We were able to have some success just playing our game. And so you saw that in particular in the first quarter, and definitely in the fourth quarter. I felt like we had two really good quarters. In the second quarter, we were a little lackadaisical. And the third, we were battling to get back even. But the first and the fourth quarter were two strong quarters for us.
And can you just kind of talk about, your players were all over that court, especially just attacking the ball on the rebound. 29 offensive rebounds is impressive in its own right. Can you kind of talk about that effort that the team provided today?
Well, we were competing, and I think that showed up in that particular category. We just didn't have the points to show for the 29 rebounds. And so there's this thing where you've got to do your job completely. And so we left a lot of points off the board, and it's hard to make up for that if you're going to get those rebounds and not have putbacks. And so, once again, these young ladies have a hard hat when they're out there competing. I don't think they even care about who's doing it. They just want it done. And so they've been able to hold each other accountable throughout the year, to the right of me as a player of the year. And rightfully so, should be an All-American. The young lady to the left of me, I challenged her to get 20 and 10. I think she had that. And so as the game goes on, the numbers take care of themselves. If you're competing, the numbers take care of themselves.
And the final question for you, Coach. What does this team mean to you, and how can you kind of use these lessons you've learned this season to translate into next season and into the future of the program?
Man, everything's a life lesson. You've got to take it in stride. You've got to be present. And so, you've got to have a strategy for success. And I think we've accomplished many goals. And we want to take that on to, or parlay that into future endeavors. And so Nevaeh Asiasi has professional ambitions, and she should be able to accomplish that. And I think those things start as a whisper, they start as a dream, and then you go after it and you pursue it with tenacity. And so the same way she's going to continue to pursue and attack her dreams and goals, our program will continue to do the same, because we can harness that type of energy. And if we harness it, we can harvest it, and then you plant it and it grows, and then we get multiple people who want to follow in her footsteps because they've seen it be attainable. And so for a program, we're hungry to get ourselves back to this position and then right this wrong, if you will, right?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Nevaeh, as Coach mentioned, you were the CCAA Player of the Year. Can you just kind of talk about what this season has been for you, senior year, just being able to make the tournament? If I can remember correctly, the first program's first CCAA tournament title. To kind of guide me through like what this season's been to you.
It's been an amazing season, and I feel like the biggest thing I took away from it was the relationship that I was able to build this year. Every single one of those girls I love, and I care for, and I was able to build a bond with them, and that showed on the floor, and that helped me be successful. And without them, I wouldn't be able to have any success. And then obviously as a whole, we were able to have success and win a championship. But really the biggest takeaway for me was just the relationships I was able to make this year.
And can you kind of talk to me a little bit about tonight and how you were able to, as one of the team's leaders, to be able to keep the group calm and collected and keep that focus on that mission of tying it up or getting the lead?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the biggest thing that we added into our routine this year was huddling after any dead ball situations that we can, and I feel like in those moments we're able to come together, breathe, take a moment, and then also in the timeouts just making sure that everyone's head up and we have different, I'm a leader of course, but I mean we have a whole bunch of people that are comfortable using their voices, and I want them to continue to do that.
Thank you very much. All right, Mariah, you had a huge double-double tonight. You were all over that court. Can you kind of talk to me about what worked for you, what didn't work for you, kind of how you felt, what was going through your mind?
Well, basically how I felt good. I just know every time I come off the bench that my teammates expect me to bring a lot of energy and come prepared. So that was one of my main goals, just to focus on what I'm good at.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what didn't work for me, as you could say, is I'll say probably going at it a little more. I feel like it was a couple times that I could have went at my shot a little more, so that could have benefited the team. But as far as that, I feel like my energy was pretty solid, to be honest.
I know you had a couple of the Vanguard fans behind me that were like, "Watch 13!" So if you have the fans knowing your number, I think that's pretty impressive. But can you kind of also talk to me about how this experience has been, what your season's kind of looked like, and what it's meant to you?
This season's meant a lot to me, especially based off my last year. I didn't see the floor a lot my freshman year. So this year, I feel like I was able to be a big part of this team based off having confidence. That was a major thing, my confidence. So I feel like my teammates, they see a lot of good in me. So to bring that to the floor all the time is a good job.
Thank you very much. And my last question for you three is, I think I might know the answer to this. What was the highlight, most fun moment of this season that you guys have had?
Let me think, man. I mean, if you're being honest, I think the highlight.
Too many to choose from.
Right. It would have to be winning a conference tournament championship at Pomona and cutting down the nets in their arena. That was pretty sweet.
especially over them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. They're an incredible program, and we were able to best them on that particular day. And, you know, the Lord showed favor on us that day.
Nevaeh, your favorite moment?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the championship has to take the cake. But I feel like even just any little moments that we had together, like bonding wise, like even just this morning, like getting to see the snow and like all of us getting to like experience that together was fun, and you know, just like little moments like that.
Anything to add, Mariah?
Yeah, I would probably say winning the conference championship. You know, that game was really like special to us, especially the week before they're beating us at home. So like us winning that at their home was a big moment for us and for me too.
Well, thank you guys very much for your time. I really appreciate it, and wish you guys safe travels home.
Thank you so much.